that it really contributes to easing the poverty problem, providing cash to the people below the poverty line, and then using this as an inducement for them to perform certain activities that will help them. For example, vaccination, education, and so many other livelihood. At the same time, yung pera na yan, pag pumasok yan, that is going to prime up the economy in those areas. President Arroyo, in addition to the CCT of the DSWD, also used a similar measure, yung tinatawag na katas ng VAT, no? I remember this amounted to about 7-10 billion when the price of crude oil went up to about $120 per barrel. So nagkaroon ng windfall, about 7 to 8 billion na pesos. I was a member of the opposition at that time, but I commented in a positive way. Sabi ko, that was a brilliant move on the part of the president, using a windfall and giving it back to the people. Although these were people who were not directly responsible for the consumption of oil products. Binibigay doon, nakakatulong sa kanila. Dalawang bagay ang na-achieve doon, helping the people because of the financial crisis happening at that time in 2008 up to early 2009, and at the same time raising the credibility and popularity level of the administration at that time. I think those who are opposing this are a little worried about how the positive effects on the image of the Noynoy Aquino administration. Palagi ko yan ang principal worry nila, na this is going to become a very popular program, this is going to become a very successful program. So of course, those in the opposition would not normally welcome something that would be positive to the administration that they are opposing.
Sir, yung sign, nag-sign na po kayo doon sa Manila?
Doon sa second one, yung merong monitoring, merong oversight. I signed that last night.
Okay. Ilan na yung pumirma doon sa ano? Yung pro? Ilan na yung pumirma, sir? Ilan na yung nag-sign doon sa...
Hindi ko nakakita. Hindi ko nakita kung ilang. Pero alam ko isa, mga 52 yata pumirma. But I think many of them, after seeing, after comparing the two, I think many of them are going to withdraw their signatures on the first one and support the second one.
Sir, sa IIRC issue, si Donald Chang daw dismayado. Si Donald Chang daw po dismayado doon sa IIRC issue.
Well, that is their opinion. That is their opinion, and we have to also respect our own opinion. Even here, there are people who are not fully happy. There are people who welcome it. But what is important now is that we learn from the experience. And I think this young administration is learning very quickly. They've set up already a situation room. No administration in the history of the Philippines encountered such a big crisis early in its time. Yung bang within less than 60 days, biglang pumutok ka ganito. You know, normally, when you take over, the first things that you will be doing is organize, recruit good people, and then maybe start your economic program. But this came from left field. This hostage crisis came from left field. The Ramos administration did not experience this. President Cory did not experience this. Matagal bago nagkaroon ng 1986 na pumasok, 1987 yung first coup attempt, more than a year after. President Ramos did not experience anything similar to this. President Erap, ang masasabi natin, but it was a few months after yung sipadan crisis. Tapos sa kay Arroyo naman, yung May 1, yung President Arroyo, May 1, but that was a few months after she took over in January 21. So, nakalatag na, nakahanda na yung mga administration. But in this case, it happened August 23, less than 60 days after. So it came from left field talaga.
Sir, you have seen the drama of the Chile rescue operation, and you've seen, I think this is the finest hour of the people of Chile, and even the president of Chile. And maybe the situation is completely different from how we dealt with the hostage crisis. But what lessons could be learned? Because I think the president also of Chile is somebody who has been elected only recently, taking over a lady president. And what lessons could we learn from what Chile did to ensure that the finest hour of the Philippines, of us as a people and as a country, especially when you have live television globally watching an incident like that, I mean, what should we do as a people and the president and the leadership?
Well, these are two different things. The hostage crisis was something that you had to manage on a second-by-second basis. In a minute, it could explode the same way as we had observed. In the case of the Chile crisis, there was a blackout insofar as news was concerned. They knew that the structures collapsed, they were trapped, but for several days, I think it took about 2 weeks for them to find out whether they were still alive, because there was no communication. At that time, there was no news. There was a crisis, but they were looking at a blank wall. But they were preparing. So the Chile crisis is something that evolved and unraveled in a slow motion basis. You're given days to be able to react. And the advantage of Chile is that this is a mining country, copper mining. They're very good at drilling. So the ability to drill, the presence of the equipment there was very critical. And finally, when they were able to have contact with the 33 miners and establish that they were still alive, they went through the next stage, which was the recovery. The first stage was to determine what happened. Are they still there? Are they still alive? We have seen situations like this in big earthquakes. Mines that collapsed, like in West Virginia, for example, in the United States, in the coal mines. Some died. Some, in another instance, some survived. They were able to come out of the mines alive, but the iba, wala na, permanently entombed. Like what happened in Russia, for example, also in a coal mine where it just exploded and nothing was heard after that. So here,